I've spoken recently on a couple of my videos on Living Our Best Life playlist about obstacles, external obstacles being in the way and how to get around them when you've accepted them and when you've got the energy to do so. But what about the internal obstacles, the ones that we play in our mind constantly? Self-doubt, the routines that haven't worked for the millionth time. What happens then? How do we get out of that funk? Well, that's what I want to talk about in this video on Carrie's Crack, which is my vlog. I'm showing you I'm doing the work too. So this has been going on with me recently. I will get around maybe the external obstacles, and then some internal obstacle will hit me bang, and then it's like I'm back down again. So it's like what I say for the title of this video, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. That's how it's feeling right now for me. And I've got a few tools in my bag to use, and I wanted to share them with you. And there's some that I'm aware of that I want to try as well, which I haven't started yet. So let's talk about it. So does this feel like it happens to you, this perpetual cycle of boom and bust? Like you're doing well with your job or like home life and everything's going well, and then an external thing will happen or your internal thing will happen, and then it all goes to pot and you're like, what happened? Like, now I've got to get myself out of this funk. So that's where I've been. And it does, you start saying things like you're a failure, you don't feel like anything's working, you're doing the best you can but you're not seeing any progress, and all these little niggles and self-doubt talks come into your mind, right? And I'm at that point where I need to get the tools to get back up again and just keep going, my thumbnail title, just keep going. So I'm speaking here about everything really. I mean, predominantly probably about growing an audience here on YouTube and my business and things like that. Because, at the start it is challenging. That's one of the big things, one of the big obstacles we have if you are in a business, right? But it can be anything, like, running the home, my home ed as well, and just finding the time to fit all of that in. So one of the things is, especially for the business side of things or work side of things, is to know your why. That's what I keep coming back to. I keep doing that. And I'll say, why am I doing it? And it's because I'm so passionate about it and I believe in it so much that I just keep showing up. I just keep putting these videos out. I just keep writing content. Paid content is coming soon, and I'm trying to do a website and all this stuff. So, I'm putting effort in, I'm putting work in, and I just keep putting my 1 step at a time forward because I'm so passionate about it. That is my why. So it could be what your purpose is, your fulfillment, your desire, and your passion. So I think when I get into this funk, that's what I've started to do, particularly for the business. I will think, it's my passion. I love it, I enjoy it. And that's why I'm going to keep going. That's why I'm going to keep climbing out of this hole every time I fall in it, right? With it, whether it's the obstacle in your mind or an external situation that crops up. The other thing is, if it's not about your why, if you can't relate your why to your thing that's happened, so maybe it's something else in home life or relationships or something like that, it could be that you changing the phrase in your head. Instead of I've got to do this, change it to I get to do that. I get to do this. So if you're getting bogged down and overwhelmed with life and stuff and all the to-dos, and while you're doing it, instead of saying I've got to do it, while you're in the middle of it or even before you do it, say to yourself, I get to do this. If it's your home life, it's difficult. We've got so little time to do everything, and we've got all the chores to do in the house, all the to-do lists. But think about what life would be like if you didn't have those things. If those to-do lists weren't in your life. So you're running around after your kids, you're clearing up after your kids, You've got a whole family's load of washing to get done, dry, put away. You've got all the pots to do. You know, fast forward to empty nest syndrome, and you'll be wishing the house was louder and busier and crazy like it used to be, because now it's so quiet. Now every cup is put away precisely as you want it, but you haven't got that other thing that you craved. And I know there's a time in life for all of this stuff, but I think when we are in it, we don't appreciate it fully. And to get us through those days, I mean, that's what this vlog is about. I want to help people while I'm going through it as well, because I was listening to people that I could understand their principles and what they were saying, but I couldn't totally relate to them because they weren't on my same time of life or talking about the real things that I was going through. So that's why I'm doing these Carrie's Crack videos. But yeah, it's what gets you through it. If you just keep saying to yourself, I get to do this. I get to have this home that I get to clean, not got to clean. I get to do the washing up. I get to do the washing. I mean, it's not a nice thing to think about, but if one of your family members was suddenly taken away, you'd be really craving that load that person did have in your life. Do you see what I mean? And I think sometimes we take everything for granted. We take people for granted, and we get in this resentment. And then that's what can make us feel a bit, you know, just overwhelmed and down and out, really. These obstacles, you know, I've got no time, I've got this, I've got that to do. But if we switch it and we start appreciating the people and the things in our lives, you know, the things have to get done. They are a bit mundane. That's why I say look for the sacred in the mundane. While you're washing up, think, you know, we've just had a lovely meal together as a family. What a nice thing that we've been able to do that. We've been able to cook something. Not everyone can. You know, we've been able to sit together as a family. Not everyone can. So that's just a bit of a flipping it around. So if you don't relate to know your why, you might relate to saying you get to, not you've got to. The other thing is when you get stuck like this and you get in a funk, you can use this acronym that I've put together called Banker. I have done a whole other video on it, so I will put that in the description and at the end. But you can work through that to get out of this funk. So if you're feeling self-doubt, self-criticism, you're in a critic, you're not your inner friend at the moment, you can work through this acronym and help to get through it. So I'm not going to go into that in this video, but I did just want to mention that is a way you can get out of it with that acronym Banker. So go and check that video out for that. Journaling is another way around all this. For me, journaling is a bit hit and miss at the minute. I would like to do more. I do think it is a very powerful tool. Let me know if you journal, how often you journal, and how beneficial it is for you. What time of day do you journal? Because this is, it's just a big tool. You know, if you're not one for meditating, it's one thing you might want to try is journaling. It's a way to get it all out and help you move on. Just on that, actually, one thing I found recently, I think I've mentioned it before in a video, but it's instead of having affirmations, a lot of people journal their affirmations down or do that in the morning. If you're not one for affirmations, if you don't fully believe that they work, maybe, you know, again, self-doubt, you know, I'm telling myself a statement, but I don't really believe it. So if you're not for affirmations, try this. If you have a statement, say, like we said about failure, I feel like a failure, okay? So you're in the funk, you feel like a failure. You might say, I am successful. Okay, that would be your affirmation. But if you turn that statement, so the opposite of what you're feeling, so I feel like a failure, the opposite of what you're feeling, I am successful, but turn that phrase into a question. Why am I successful? And then your brain starts looking for that. It starts looking for that statement, starts looking for reasons why you're successful. And if you come up, doing this in the journal, if you come up with all these reasons as to why you're successful, then your brain has evidence to say, well, actually, I'm not a failure because I am actually successful because of all these reasons. So try that, try journaling, let me know how that works for you if you're feeling a little bit like I am at the moment and a bit in a funk. Visualization, contemplation or meditation. So this is something I haven't tried yet, as in the visualization part, but it's all very similar. One might appeal to you more than the others. So visualization, contemplation or meditation. For me, I want to try visualization. Now, that's a funny one for me because although I'm a visual learner, I'm not actually visual. So if I sit in meditation, in a guided meditation, I don't see anything. I don't see pictures in my mind's eye. So to actually visualize something is quite difficult for me. So what I do is I tune into, and this is again a bit of law of attraction, isn't it really? So you think and feel what you want to bring into you. But you have to do both. You have to think about it and feel it, and those pulls bring it in. So what I tend to do, because I struggle with actually seeing, is just tuning in with the feelings of what it would feel like to have that thing if I can't see it. So that's worth a go, and I will be doing that. And I'll be doing that on a morning and really picturing my day and picturing or feeling and sensing into what it would feel like to be the opposite of this funk. Like, what would it feel like to be on the opposite? Instead of being in this funk, what do I want to be? And that is where the focus will go. So try that one. And this last thing I just wanted to mention. Oh no, there's a couple things here. This last thing is channeling that I saw today. Bashir. I don't know if you've come across him. And it was just a little short he was doing. And he said, and it was just odd, I was thinking about this video and then this popped up, of course. A circumstance is neutral. It has no built-in meaning. They do not come with an agenda. A circumstance is just a set of props that mean nothing. The meaning you get from them determines the effect you get from it. The meaning you get from them determines the effect you get from it. So that's basically, to me anyway, saying about the external obstacles. Going back to that, I know we're talking about internal, but back to that other video of external obstacles. So when situations happen outside of us, it's just something happening outside of us. And the way we react to it depends on how we approach looking at it. So if something happens and you think that's devastating, then that will feel it inside. But it doesn't have to be. You can say that thing has happened. You don't have to add on, I say, the second suffering. You don't have to put the second suffering on top of the external thing that's happened. So can you do that with internal stuff? Yeah, you can. So this funk that I'm in right now, this feeling like a failure, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Am I really a failure? So turn it into yourself. That's a feeling. You've felt it. Let's move on. And but you're basically seeing it for what it is. So that was something that came up today, so I thought I'd just comment on that. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I've just made a note there that there's some quotes about this on the book that we're reading in our book club at the minute, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. So I'm starting a book club, and it will be the last Monday of the month. So if you've got time to read it, if you see this video in time and you get time to read it, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, read it. Come along to our live on the 29th of September, because I'm already reading it, and these kind of things are relating in this book. This book is talking about, you're happy within you. The external doesn't matter, but it's the same for internal. So the internal stuff going on, it's just internal stuff. It's not who you are. These thoughts, I mean, that he puts it very well. You're not your thoughts. I hear that phrase all the time being a mindfulness teacher, but the way he writes it in this book and gives really good, relatable examples just makes it so relatable, that you're not these thoughts. So you can turn them around. So this book, actually, I've only just realised that it wasn't meant to be, but this book that we've got coming up for the book club is quite relatable to what I'm saying in this video. So whether you come to the book club or not, put it on your to read list, recommended book list, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. And if you can make it, do come and join us on my first book club live, my first live ever book club here on YouTube on the 29th of September. It's at 8 o'clock UK time. So that's what I've got for you. I hope it helps to get you out of a funk if you're similar to me. Yeah, much love. Bye for now.